Now to a 12 News exclusive. 12 News is taking you to the site where a helicopter carrying 4 people crash landed south of Superior last Friday morning.
12 News journalist Sean Rice takes us inside the canyons, looking for answers into how this tragedy took place.
Today we ventured deep into the Telegraph Canyon Mountains to investigate how an experienced helicopter pilot could clip a slack line, likely severing the rotor, sending this helicopter with 4 people on board down to the canyon floor, killing all 4 people on board. Where this crash happened is on private property. We were allowed entry onto said private property to film where this crash happened. The property owner tells us that this slack line was only in place 1 week prior to this heartbreaking crash taking place. So it's about 72 hours after a helicopter carrying 4 people went down right where we're standing in the Telegraph Canyon Mountains area just south of the town of Superior. We ventured deep into the mountains today, speaking with a property owner who owns the land we're standing on. He's actually down there on horseback right now. What he's told us is that the slack line that this helicopter hit was connected these 2 peaks right in front of us from the left to the right, and that there had been what's called a NOTAM in place, an advisory filed with the Federal Aviation Administration by the slackliners who put it up, warning air travel that there was a slack line between 2 peaks there. So I'm now standing just yards away from where the helicopter crashed, according to the property owner we spoke with. I want to give you an idea of where I was just talking to you from. Right above this ridge line right here, high above the Telegraph Canyons, is where I was just speaking to you a moment ago. You can tell we're in the right spot based off Sheriff's Office caution tape lining the front entryway to this road. So after quite the trek and some assistance from the landowner, we found really the exact spot where this helicopter went down. Just incredibly unfortunate. And it wears on you, certainly being, standing where 4 people lost their lives. But I'll tell you what I found. Fiberglass here from what looks like the outside of a helicopter. There's several more right here with some markings. Just as I keep walking down this area, there's just more fiberglass all throughout this area. And then over here behind me, you see, a piece of Sheriff's Office caution tape. So certainly is the exact area where this helicopter went down from all the evidence. I'll give you an idea of what it looked like from, again, talking to the property owner. We're on his land. He says that this slack line was all the way up there, maybe a little bit higher than we originally thought, and that it was strung, as the FAA says, a kilometer all the way across this canyon, all the way to that other ridge right there. So we presume, just from being out here and standing where this went down, that the helicopter most likely was traveling west this way, clipped that slack line, and sort of, I guess, kept trying to go, because we're a good distance away from where it would have been strung, and then just crash landed right where we're standing. Right now, it's still unclear who put that slack line in place. About 24 hours after the crash, the International Slackline Association released a statement saying the line had aviation markers and that a NOTAM had been filed with the FAA. But after speaking with the property owner off camera, there are still major questions. He tells us the people who installed the line never asked his permission to place it on his private property. He also says the Arizona Forest Service is now building a timeline to determine when the line was installed and whether all required guidelines were followed beyond filing for that NOTAM. The property owner also told us he personally knew the pilot, calling him experienced and familiar with the canyons. He also shared his deep sadness over the loss of the pilot and his 3 nieces. Outside of the town of Superior, Sean Rice, 12 News.
All right.